guys, I'm Chandni and you're watching The Art of Science. So in today's video, we are going to do yet another mathematical proof. And don't worry guys, it's not a fake proof this time, it's a very real one. So when I was in school and we were learning exponents, one of the things that you learn is any number raised to the power 0 is equal to 1. And this is something that I never understood. Shouldn't a number raised to the power 0 be equal to 0? How is it equal to 1? So today I'm going to make a video exactly on that. This is the proof of why x to the power 0 is equal to 1. I hope that all the curious kids wondering the same question stumble across my video and find the answer to your questions. So let's get into it. So before we get into the proof, we are going to first understand a little something about exponents. Exponents are usually written something like this. The number in the bottom is called the base and the smaller one on the top right side is called the power. Here we have 2 to the power 3. This basically means that the base, which is 2, is multiplied to itself 3 times. Similarly, we have 2 to the power 4 where 2 is multiplied by itself 4 times. We have 3 to the power 2 or also 3 squared where 3 is multiplied by itself twice, and we have 4 to the power 1. Now any number to the power 1 basically means that the number is only multiplied by itself a single time, which is why any number to the power 1 is the number itself. Now we are going to understand two main exponent rules. The first rule is the product of powers rule. This basically says that you have to add the powers together when you're multiplying like bases. Now like bases basically means the same number in the bases. Let's look at an example. Here we are going to take 2 raised to 3 multiplied by 2 raised to 2. Now if we expand this and write, it simply looks something like 2 times 2 times 2, which is basically 2 to the power 3, multiplied by 2 times 2, which is 2 to the power 2. Now if you notice, this is nothing but 2 multiplied by itself 5 times. So this can be simply written as 2 raised to the power 5. Now this is exactly what the rule tells us. When you have like bases with two different exponents and you're multiplying these, what you can simply do is you can add the exponents. So 2 raised to the power 3 multiplied by 2 raised to the power 2 simply equals to 2 raised to the power 3 plus 2, which is 2 raised to the power 5 like we saw before. Our next rule is very similar to the previous one, except this time, instead of multiplication and addition, we have division and subtraction. This rule is called quotient of power rules, and it says that you need to subtract the powers when dividing like bases. Let's take the same example, which is 2 raised to the power 3 divided by 2 raised to the power 2. Now when you expand it, you can simply write this as 2 times 2 times 2 divided by 2 times 2. Now we can simply cancel the 2's out and we are left with 2 divided by 1. Now 2 divided by 1 is obviously only 2. And if you recall, any number raised to the power 1 is the number itself. So we can write this 2 as 2 raised to 1. Which brings us to the second rule, which states that if you have two like bases and they are divided, you can simply subtract the exponents. So 2 raised to the power 3 divided by 2 raised to the power 2 will simply be equal to 2 raised to 3 minus 2, which is 2 raised to the power 1 like we saw earlier. So now that your basics are clear, let's get into the main question. X raised to the power 0 is equal to 1. Now we are going to take the number 3. Let's say that 3 to the power 0 is equal to 1. So I'm going to start with the right hand side number, which is 1, and I'm going to prove that this 1 is equal to 3 to the power 0. Now the number 1 can simply be written as 3 divided by 3. Now if you remember, any number raised to the power 1 is the number itself. So we can write this equation as 3 to the power 1 divided by 3 to the power 1. Now if you remember your second rule of division, we can simply write this equation as 3 raised to 1 minus 1. And what is 1 minus 1? Exactly, it's 0. So this is how 1 equals to 3 raised to 0. And you can try this with any other number. You'll always land on the same solution. So I hope you learned something new today. If there's any proof or any question related to mathematics like this, let me know in the comments below so we can do that. And keep following the art of science.